7-year-old boy. Want to challenge the 70-year-old man's endgame. Although I am reluctant, but he still grabbed the woman's $5. I wanted to just deal with it casually. I didn't expect that Xiao Shi defeated him in just 4 steps. Yeah, I was a little panicked. A special move when in a hurry, but no matter how he struggles, Josie can handle it easily. Seeing that I am about to lose, the old man actually played rogue. Good-hearted Josie did not object. He just glanced at his mother next to him. Then I said thank you with a smile. This operation shocked the mother beside her. You know, this is my son's first time playing chess. When the mother took Josie to the park, tell your husband about playing chess. He and his wife had the same reaction. I can't believe Josie will win, but still a little curious. After returning home, he rummaged through the boxes, found a long-forgotten chess set. He asked Josie to play a game with him. The result was unexpected. My father won easily. He thought his son Park's win was just luck, but his wife's words made him serious. Can't you see? He just doesn't want to win you. The father had to find his son again. You'd better not drain the water. I want to see your strength. Until the mother beside reminded, it doesn't matter if you win against your dad. He won't be angry. Josie is just beginning. Unreservedly serious. My father also treated every step he took with caution, but he was thinking too slowly, waiting for my father's next step. He didn't even play with the toys. Finally, my father took the next step with great difficulty. Josie trotted along, run from upstairs to downstairs. Then he ate his father's soldier without hesitation. It was as if he had expected this. My father thought, after half a day, you broke my team in just 1 second. It lasted until the evening. Bored Josie went straight to the bathtub to take a bath. The father finally came up with the next step, but it was easily cracked by Xiao Shi, and he played blind chess directly. After his father helped him walk, you are a bit complacent. Aren't you just throwing yourself into the trap? But the wife doesn't think so. The husband looked carefully, only to find out that I have lost. He then realized, my son is really gifted in chess. In order not to let this talent be buried, next day, he took Xiao Shi to a chess house club. Want Josie to worship Bruce, the master of his field. However, Bruce said, I no longer accept disciples. Just as my father was about to leave in disappointment, a while, the crisp clapping sound reached Bruce's ears. There is no doubt that this is a quick move. Bruce couldn't help but look up. It turned out to be Josie in the club. I thought the masters were fighting fiercely. The two of them played chess faster and faster. To the end, the only sound in the room was the ticking of the timer, accompanying the opponent to overthrow his past. Xiao Shi not only easily won this victory, it also caught Bruce's attention. But seeing the frustration on the opponent's face, before leaving, Xiao Shi took her snacks. I walked over and comforted him. Thanks. In the days that followed, Xiao Shi came to the park accompanied by his father, playing chess because it is his girlfriend's interest. Where to start? I remember that day Josie was playing hide and seek in the park, but accidentally, I saw a black object buried in the dead leaves. He took it in his hand and played with it carefully, but I have no idea what this is used for. Suddenly there was a noise behind me. It turns out that people are shaking sieve method. Decide who makes the first move on the chessboard. Josie finally understood. It turns out that the chess piece in his hand, not far away, the two men's team made a crisp knocking sound, although it suddenly rained heavily. But those who are addicted to chess, still no intention of leaving. Raindrops on chessboard, a crystal clear water painting. The wife who was constantly beaten by the rain. In his eyes, she became more attractive. For a moment, Xiao Shi was fascinated, so much so that my mother talked about him several times. He had no idea. It was just such a chance. Let the introverted Josie, a strong interest in chess. The next day, on the way home from school, Josie suggested going to the park to watch people play chess. The mother was a little confused by her son's proposal. He never knew his son was interested in a girl, but he is considerate. Or take Josie to the park. As soon as he arrived at the park, he felt very uneasy, because all kinds of bad things are gathered here. The big man of habit, smoking tattoo deals for boutique. Although the sign clearly says no gambling, people treat chess as upright gambling tool. The mother is afraid that the child is in danger here. Want to leave, but Josie's attention was completely diverted. Chess attracts pieces that move back and forth on the board. It's like roommate magic, make him unable to move his eyes, and so he ended up sending them into the castle, and the door to the world of chess was open. The mother is also keenly aware of his object, chess obsession, so on this day, I simply went directly to the small park, tentatively let Josie and the uncle's disability. The bureau has a 5 yuan debate, and here's the beginning. I didn't expect it. The endgame of the 70-year-old uncle was easily handled by Josie. Exceptional strength. It directly attracted the attention of the black poo on the side. Who wants to know Josie's name? 12 Mother thought he had bad intentions. I hurriedly took my son out of here. After failing to learn from Bruce, Josie is accompanied by her father back to the small park again. Gradually he became acquainted with Pooh. The two also became a relationship of one room and one friend, as a sparring match between experts. Every time they play, they have an audience around them. On this day, when the two of you came and went down anxiously, the father inadvertently discovered in the crowd the Bruce who once rejected himself also came here. It turns out that drama is like life. Bruce, I don't want Josie to be buried, so they invited Josie's father to the country. The chess circuit. The best riders in the world live here, and they're all after the same person. That's Bobby Fee, the world chess champion. Time. They are all learning and imitating Fischer's routine. As a result, it can't be turned into tears. But in Josie, Bruce saw a rare original. I also saw him become the next Fischer. Performance. Bruce admits that the road ahead will not be easy. Maybe Lu Mingqing can also go crazy. Eventually become a person who can't even live. Self-care oddity. For a moment, my father was also very worried, but after thinking about it, he still brought Bruce to the house, to Josie's room. After my father left, Josie and Bruce start a game. Although it has nothing to do with chess, but it's an important one. The understanding process of identity equivalence. Until my mother came back from shopping in the evening. Only then did the two end their game. Don't read your mind before you leave. Father picked up a color. Father suddenly realized, take out the money, then hold the wallet with the instant empty pen at a loss what to do. And this scene, all watched by Josie on the stairs. Wait until the real class starts. As soon as you come up, Bruce sets up an endgame, and asks Josie, without moving any wives. Complete within 4 moves, general. But when Josie just remembered his wife's location, Bruce, suddenly, he pushed all the chess pieces to the ground. The purpose is to make Josh build deeper thinking skills. In the face of empty expectations, Josie's brain started working fast. It didn't take long for Josie to take a squeaky step. Yes, Bruce is very satisfied with his answer. Subsequently, carefully take something out of the bag. He told Josie, this is a certificate from several other poetry collections. Very few people in history have been granted this privilege. Wronger wants to get this certificate. You must accumulate enough points. Look at Josh's eager eyes. Bruce gave him 10 points on the book. Just did the reward for Josie cracking the endgame just now. Then, he carefully accepted the certificate again. Return. Then he put it back in the bag with great treasure. May Joe after that. Josie would learn from Bruce, but he still spends more time playing chess in the park. Bruce was keenly aware that Josie especially likes to use the queen to enter the palace at the beginning. This is a typical Wild Street, although this approach works surprisingly well in parks. But it's a tactical approach, not a strategic one. It's easy to lose in official competitions. He hopes father can stop Josie from going to the park to play chess again. Fathers are meaningless. Quickly agreed, but the mother on the side firmly disagrees, because he knew Josie very well. If you don't let him go, might as well just kill him. Seeing my mother so determined, father and Bruce had to compromise for the time being. Soon after, Josie ushered in her first official game, because it's brought in by talented people from all over the world, so parents are also very picky, although the referee has already stated the rules in advance. But these parents still want to push their luck. Some say their son wants to use his chess, some say their daughters. Get used to your own timer. And not only that, some parents are even in the qualifiers, fighting each other. Reason, he actually suspected that the other party had darkened his child. No. This seems like a children's no-no. It's more like a battle between parents. In desperation, the referee had to rush the parents into the locker room. The moment you lock the door, the arena also quieted down in an instant. Just then, a little girl suddenly applauded. Then everyone clapped their hands happily. In fact, what children want is just pure competition, instead of what adults say is for your own good. After a few hours of intense resistance, only the last 2 children were left fighting in the hall. Champion, and one of them is Josie, facing the Battle of Kings. Close. The parents in the locker room also want to know what's going on, so they started making them human. Pass on every move played by both sides. Josie took the lead in meeting a soldier. The other party's parents quickly comforted their father not to worry. Your son must have something to do with it. Finish. He also patted his father's arm heavily. In fact, his heart has already blossomed. But as the saying goes, feng shui turns. Soon there was news from the children again. Josie ate the opposite play. Now it's the couple's turn to comfort each other again. Don't worry. Your son must be in Qiju Bao Shuai. He should still have the upper hand. After saying that, my father also took a picture with peace and joy. Pat each other on the shoulder. The 2 talented teenagers fought back and forth like this. I don't know how long after. Finally got the news that the battle was over. But the messenger didn't say who won. On the way home, my father looked solemn. I thought it was because Josie lost the game. I didn't expect him to be just happy and sad. Josie not only won the first game. Since then, his talents have gradually begun to emerge. Every game after that, he can easily defeat his opponent. And his points, it also soared from the bottom to the first place. The house is filled with all kinds of trophies. Consecutive games. It also seriously affected Josie's school life. The teacher kindly reminds the father, Josie's grades have dropped a lot recently, and I'm growing distant from my classmates. He knew that Josie had a great future in chess, but I also hope that parents can pay attention. Other aspects I didn't expect. The earnest words alarmed my father. Mother advised him, you should listen carefully to the teacher's opinion. But in front of so many parents, Teacher Zhang reprimanded him severely, because in his opinion, Josie is extremely talented. There will be greater achievements in the future. Learning and socializing is a waste of time. Apparently the father is already there. Josie lost her mind in honor. Even come home at night, trying to get Josie to transfer to a private school, just because that school had a calculator class. Although Josie accepted her father's offer, but deep down, he didn't want to transfer. When I went to the small park to play chess the next day, he poured bitter water on Pooh. I just don't want to say no to my father. Just then, a showdown draws all the surrounding audience. Seeing this scene, Josie also came forward to watch curiously. You can see the rider's flirting face for a moment. The smile that emerged disappeared immediately. It turns out that that I am playing chess with the old man at this time. It turned out to be a boy of his own age. The boy has sharp eyes, killed decisively, in less than a minute. Even the 3 armies of the old man won. Don't forget to say sarcastically trick or treat. The onlookers also praised him as Fisher Jr. It's just a simple face-to-face. And Josie realized that there were people out there instinctively want to escape, but the truth is that the more afraid. What will happen? Josie today, while studying with Bruce at the club. That guy? The child was suddenly led here by his master. I can see that Bruce and the other party are old acquaintances. It's just that the relationship doesn't seem to be friendly. The opponent said that the week final will be held soon. Boys will also participate, and then pretentiously wanted the boy to join. He asked Bruce for an application form. Ko turned around. He put the application form was thrown away on the table as waste paper. This is clearly a well-planned provocation, and Josie felt the pressure for the first time. At night, I asked my father earnestly and greedily, can I not participate in the weekly finals? Because if you win, you will be taken for granted, and if you lose, you will definitely be sighed and ridiculed by thousands of people. But his father seemed completely oblivious to his worries, just blindly emphasizing that you will definitely not lose. Little do they know that such a seemingly recognized affirmation, it's a secondary pressure on Josie. It's freezing up there. What's more, Josie is still a child. Soon after, the finals officially kicked off. Josie also saw the boy among the many contestants, but this time they didn't fight at all, because Josie lost the game early, or go straight 7 steps. He lost to an opponent who was far inferior to him. It was raining heavily outside. The father ignored Josie, who was shivering in the rain. Instead, he kept asking him why he lost. But what Josie cares about is, why are you standing so far away from me? Hearing this, my father suddenly realized, it turns out that I have always been too obsessed with winning or losing, thus ignoring Chao Zai's true feelings. Because we lost the game this time, Bruce began to clearly prohibit playing fast chess in Chaoshi District Park, because he thinks everyone there is a loser. All that can be handed over to him are evil things. If he continues to stay in that environment, failure is inevitable in the future. Although Josie disagrees with Bruce's point of view, but he never went to the park again after that. Every time I pass by there after school, all I can do is watch helplessly. This was where his path to enlightenment began. This was also his original intention, but now I have to stay away from him and alienate him. Josie looked up at her mother. The mother knew this was his distress signal, but at the strong request of his father and Bruce, he can't do anything. Bruce came to my house to tutor me. He always thought that Chao Shi was too weak. We should learn to despise our opponents and even hate them, because only in this way can we have the motivation to defeat our opponents. But no matter how Bruce explained and guided, Josie couldn't have such emotions. Even when Brusna took the time to give examples, he is full of innocence, and said firmly that I am not him. Bruce's smile gradually disappeared when he heard this. Then he looked at the chessboard, disappointed. I think I understand. Implications. The chess road in Chaoshi is not far away. Later, the boy won 6. The highest score of all wins enters the finals, and Josie seems to have been locked in a chess game outside the world. Gradually, he was no longer obsessed with chess itself. Instead, Bruce said that the points, more interested in certificates. He wants to know himself. How many points do I need to get the certificate? If he doesn't get an answer, he refuses to continue playing chess. Bruce is obviously losing his patience. He casually pulled out a certificate from his bag and threw it to Jo. She no longer had any of the caution he had before. Then there are 10, 20 sheets, 30 chapters. He told Josie, these are just meaningless pieces of paper. Looking at the things I longed for before, now it's so cheap. Chao Zai's faith completely collapsed at this moment. No longer has the former spirit. The mother next to him happened to see all this. He wouldn't allow Bruce to hurt him in this way, harming your own children, so let him get out of his house immediately. Bruce had no choice but to leave here. Did not expect. His father fully agrees with Bruce's approach. He thinks Josie is in a slump. A more severe approach is needed to help him reshape his heart. This is the only way to become more courageous in the face of failure, instead of being afraid of competition and failure. Apparently, Dad doesn't know Josie at all, but my mother saw it clearly, so he who originally tolerated. At this moment, I finally couldn't help but burst out. He said Josie wasn't afraid of failure at all. I'm afraid of losing your love. When my father heard these words, he got furious, because he subconsciously knew. Mother is right. The mother decided not to compromise, to protect Josie, and the kindness in his heart. He is not afraid of falling out with anyone. If anyone tries to erase Josie's kindness again, I'll take Josie away immediately. Mother's tough attitude. Finally, my father calmed down and thought. After a whole night of thinking, he also realized, I have been too eager for quick success during this period. Instead, he ignored Chao Zai's original intention of playing chess. So the next morning he planned to talk to Chao Shi. When I arrived at the room, I was shocked by the scene in front of me. Once a mess. A room full of toys. Now, Chao Shi has cleaned it up. All toys. The books are neatly arranged. Josie sat at the desk, studying the chess game carefully. Father, sitting by the bed, said to Josie with apologetic, you don't need to study chess anymore. If you give up on him now, I wouldn't mind. But Josie said I had to win. It turns out that he heard everything about his parents' quarrel last night, but the fierce argument suddenly made him understand understand. The love of parents for themselves will never fade away. Instead, I have been worrying about gains and losses. So, ignoring the unchanging love of the inner object. So he decided not to bear anyone's expectations anymore. He will fight for himself completely in the future. And in the near future, take back his crown. And the father also saw from his firm eyes. Read his thoughts and changes. So next, my father moved all the trophies to Josie's room because it was always Josie's glory. And not only that, he brought Josie to the park himself. Let Josie play fast chess with Pooh at will. There are no rules to consider here. There are no longer so many strategic constraints. Josie soon regained her former fearlessness. And father sitting by, I also showed a heartfelt smile. The nationals are coming up soon. But Bruce suddenly found his father. Persuade him not to let Josie participate because other people's children are working hard. And Josie has been lazy without any deliberate training. This will make him lose badly on the field and then completely destroy his confidence. Let him down from now on. But my father didn't care about that anymore. He just wants Josie to be free to grow up. And then he took Josie out. Fishing, camping. I didn't mention it for 2 weeks. In the blink of an eye, the national competition arrived as scheduled. Many parents are accompanying their children to lead the way in sharpening guns. The father just reminded Josie indifferently, don't be nervous. And Josie without any pressure, also very relaxed. Not only do you wave to your friends on the playing field, he also chatted with the little girl who was his opponent. But when I saw the forbidden boy in the final, he still had a low point in his heart. And the boy was equally afraid of Josie. During the game, he can't help but look for Josie. And every time I look back, you will find that Josie is one step closer to you. Until the 6th time, Josie had come to him. And the next battle of the beloved. But just before the finals, Josie stared at the one she had picked up alone. The wife-initiated die. At a time like this, anyone can be afraid. What's more, he is just a few years old child. But then this schpoz walked in. I see the teacher who has been demanding of me all the time. Josie is a little ashamed to say that I can't beat him. However, Bruce did not comfort him. Instead, I agree that you really may not win. But after that, he took out the certificate made by himself. It was in his heart. Josie has reached the level of a supermaster. I am honored and proud to be Teacher Nee. And can you win this game? It doesn't matter to me anymore. Although this certificate is not official, granted is unique, it is also what Xiaoxi longs for the most. Josie excitedly came forward and hugged Bruce. And be honest that I'm scared right now. He hoped the teacher would stay and watch the game. Don't go away. Bruce also agreed firmly. The appearance and affirmation of the teacher certainly gave Jose Moda encouragement. So when the summit showdown officially begins, there was no fear in Josie's eyes anymore. I walked into the arena very calmly. Here we go. Here we go. Josie just pressed the timer. But the boy stared proudly at Josie. Delayed to start. Pooh and Bruce off the court. No. He was risking wasting his time, trying to suppress Josie psychologically. But Josie also saw his trick. It wasn't affected at all. Finally, halfway through, the boy got into action. This rough patch is more like a psychological game. I saw that Josie was not in a hurry to test the soldiers. But the boy fell directly into the hinterland. Want to draw out Josie's queen once. And Bruce, off the court, panicked. Don't be fooled, he whispered. But you're the only one who wants him to do it. After thinking for a moment, Josie decisively dispatched the queen. The boy smiled. I think you've been tricked. But Josie's expression was a little subtle. The boy immediately withdrew his son. Josie responded calmly. And then the boy goes out. And Josie ate his little soldier. But the boy took Josie's queen with his backhand. Off the field, Bruce, see here, think the room must be happy. Seeing his beloved take white, he turned to leave. But for you, I firmly believe that Josie is really out of the game. It's a career. Exactly. Under Josie's step-by-step temptation, soon an army of boys. For Zambi Sharp, the boy had to move the country back. But this step also cost him the queen. See the queen of the song. The boy found it difficult to accept. And at this point Josie said boy again. What I once said to my uncle in the park. Trick or treat. It's also a psychological suppression. At this moment, Josie smiled and gave him the words back. Now both sides have lost the queen. The war situation has also become more tense and exciting. The dominant Josie launched the attack first. The powerful offensive forced the boy to keep retreating. As Josie's attack intensified, the boy took a wrong step in a panic. And Josie just takes this opportunity. You can take this championship in your pocket. But that also means he has to see after 12 steps. But he was only 7 years old. Will there be that kind of strength? Josie racked her brains to think about it. Bruce was even more nervous. Reverse solution. Suddenly his voice, it seemed to have really reached Chao Zai's ears. Josie also recalled Bruce teaching in the first class. Then he put his chin on the table. Let every chess piece on the board. The chess pieces are spinning rapidly in my mind. Finally he saw the crucial moment. He's got it this moment. There is such a tacit understanding between them as teacher and student. However, Josie did not take that step, but suddenly stretched out his right hand, proposed a tie to the boy. As long as the boy agrees, they'll be tied for first place. But how can a boy who has always been proud make peace? Moreover, in his opinion, Josie will definitely lose. Josie had no choice but to withdraw her right hand. He really doesn't care about winning or losing. Competition itself is cruel, but he did not erase Josie's Josie's kindness. The mother who saw this scene, I also feel particularly relieved. In the last 12 steps, both of them stood up directly. You have one move, I have one move, until the last one is killed. The Czech boy finally realized it belatedly. He did lose. He walked lostly through the crowd cheering for Josie, waiting for him. Maybe it's the blame from teachers and parents, but that's what competition is. People only remember the champion's name. However, Josie was not particularly happy after winning the championship. Instead, I said to my father with a bit of sadness, tried to give him a chance to live. The father replied with relief, I know you tried your best. At this time, Xiao Shi saw his good friend who lost the game. He is being scolded by his father, just like when my father scolded me, but Josie comforted him afterwards. You are much stronger now than I was then. Josie's kindness always exists, and always warm everyone around you. Journey of the Kings is directed by Steven Zalian. Max Boomerang stars. Legendary movies released in 1993. This film is based on real people. Xiao Shiwei. I once came into contact with chess by chance on the street when I was 6 years old. No formal learning. Beat the Invincibles right here in Washington Park. As a teenager, won the National Chess Championship 8 times. Won the title of Chess Master at the age of 13. At the age of 18, Josie published her first book, Waitskin's Offensive Chess. After 20, again, he developed the world's largest chess computer program. After many years of dominating the Western chess world, the chess master, at the age of 22, he started practicing Tai Chi again, and won the U.S. Tai Chi Championship for 21 consecutive times, and World Championship titles. Josie's life is definitely a legend, and the achievement of his legendary life. In addition to his innate talent, he has parents who are kind to him, protection and support of nature. When everyone, I hope he will become the next Bao Baifei. Childhood. The mother noticed something about him that was similar to the sudden death. Completely different qualities. Violence is a sharp sword. Acting alone. Show your talent. Contempt for everything. And Josie is facing, is a person's morality what he cares about most? He would rather protect everyone he cares about. Two completely different people, destined not to be cultivated in exactly the same way. Otherwise, it will not only wipe out the child's talent, it may even completely ruin the child's future. In this colorful world, everyone is given a unique color. Just as each leaf has its own unique texture, each flower has its own unique fragrance. We each have our own unique personality and talent. When we look up to those who are at the pinnacle of success, often attracted by their light, want to imitate their steps. However, we must be aware that success is not simply copy and paste. It is based on a person's characteristics and made by hard work. Blindly imitate others. Possible. It makes us lose ourselves in the pursuit, even distorting one's own values. Therefore, in the process of pursuing progress and growth, it is important to learn from others' strengths, but more importantly, keep yourself. Stick to your original intention and beliefs. In the process of learning from others' success, keep exploring yourself, discover your own potential and characteristics, then pursue your dreams in your own way, to create your own wonderful life. Well, today's movie sharing is here. Welcome everyone to like, comment and forward. I am a shark. Looking forward to meeting you next time.